Whereas in hire purchase system, ownership will transfer only after the payment of last installment. And a hire purchase system, there are two parties, hire vendor or hire seller as well as hire purchaser. Here the hire purchaser will not get the amount paid. At the same time, he will not get the goods also. Next, fourth entry is for what? Transfer of interest and depreciation to profit and loss account. Your entry remains same. Profit and loss account data to interest account to depreciation account. Hello everyone, I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidyashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysore. Today we are in the first session of Unit 4, that is Installment System. So your Unit 3 is all about Hire Purchase System and Unit 4 is all about Installment System. So as I told, so these two units are quite similar. Only thing is that you have to make certain changes. A new account has to be prepared here. Other than that, everything is same as hire purchase system. Now let us see what is the difference. But there is a difference between hire purchase system as well as installment system. Let us see what is the meaning of installment system. So accounting for installment system. Let us see what is the difference between hire purchase system as well as installment system. For that, first we shall see what is the meaning of installment system. So here the possession as well as the ownership of the goods passes from the seller to the buyer immediately. But what happens there? Immediately on entering the agreement, but the buyer agrees to pay the total price in installment is called as installment purchase system. So I'll give an example so that you can clearly understand what is it installment purchase system. For example, there are two parties M and N, and M is known as seller and N is known as buyer. Whereas in installment system, M is known as hire seller or hire vendor and N is known as hire purchaser. So here there are two parties, seller as well as buyer. Clear? Now what happens? M will transfer the goods to N. It's nothing but the seller transfers the goods to buyer on the condition that on the delivery of the goods or on the delivery of the asset, N has to make certain percentage of the cash price of the asset. So here, for example, the cash price of the asset is 10,000. So here M transfers the asset to N on the condition that on the delivery of that asset, N or the buyer has to pay certain amount which is known as down payment. So here also the payment which is made on the date of delivery of an asset is known as down payment and the remaining amount will be paid by N to M in the form of installment. But here there is the difference between hire purchase as well as this installment system. Now what is the difference in the sense? In a hire purchase system, here the hire seller transfers the goods to hire purchaser on the condition that on the date of delivery, the hire buyer or the hire purchaser has to make some percentage of the amount and the remaining amount will be made in the form of installment along with interest. Then what is the difference? Both are same, right? Then what is the difference? Here, in hire purchase system, the ownership of the asset will be transferred. So here the ownership of the asset will be transferred to the buyer only after the payment of last installment, right? Whereas in installment system, what happens? The ownership of the asset will be transferred from seller to buyer immediately. So here goods also transfers, ownership also transfers before the payment of last installment. Whereas in hire purchase system, ownership will transfer only after the payment of last installment. Here on the date of purchase itself, ownership will also be transferred. So this is a main difference between hire purchase system as well as installment system. Now what is installment system? The possession as well as the ownership. Here both the asset will also transfer as well as the ownership also transfers. So here you have to remember, so this is a main difference between hire purchase system as well as installment system. So the possession as well as ownership of the goods passes from the seller to the buyer. So I have given an example. Here the ownership as well as possession of the goods transfers immediately to the buyer on entering the agreement. So there is an agreement between the buyer as well as seller, but the buyer agrees to pay the total price in installments. So here also the payment will be made in the form of installment. Is called as installment purchase system. Now what you have to remember here, there are two parties, buyer as well as the seller, and the seller transfers the goods to the buyer on the condition that on the delivery of the goods he has to make some percentage of the cash price and the remaining amount will be paid in the form of installment. At the same time, here the ownership of the goods will be transferred immediately, not like hire purchase system. In hire purchase system, the ownership will be transferred only after the payment of last installment, whereas in installment system, the ownership will be transferred immediately. Now let us see what are the features of installment system. So it is an agreement between the seller and the buyer. So here there are two parties, seller and the buyer. Now the second feature is the buyer is not required to pay the total price of the asset. That is the total cash price of the asset in one lump sum. So he did not pay the total cash price of the asset in one lump sum, but in a certain number of installment. So here the amount is not paid immediately in lump sum, but is in the form of installments. The buyer gets possession as well as the ownership of goods immediately on signing the agreement. So there is also an agreement between the buyer and seller, and the possession, that is transfer of goods as well as the ownership of the goods immediately transfers from seller to the buyer on signing the agreement. In case of default in the payment of any installment, the seller has no right to repossess the goods. Whereas in hire purchase system, what happens? So as I told, the payment will be made in the form of installment. If the buyer does not make any of the installment, then seller has a, that is hire seller has a right to take back that goods. But this does not happen in installment system. So here the seller does not have any right. So he has no right to take back the goods or repossess the goods, but he can go to the court. So he can go to the court and sue the purchaser. So he can go to the court and sue the purchaser for unpaid balance. He cannot take back the goods or the asset, but he can go to the court and sue the purchaser. As the purchaser is the owner of the goods, so here immediately the ownership also transfers to the purchaser, right? So since he is the owner of the goods, he can dispose the goods in any manner he likes. So he can use or he can throw that goods or he can do whatever with that goods because the ownership have transferred. Even though if the payment is not received by the hire or even though if the payment is not received by the seller, of course he can or the hire purchaser can use that goods in whatever way he can. So these are the features of installment system. Now let us see what is the difference between hire purchase system as well as installment system. Hope you are knowing few of the features which we have already discussed now. So I have already discussed that there is a main difference between hire purchase system as well as installment system. Now let us go one by one. So when you take hire purchase system, so it is an agreement of hiring, right? So it is an agreement of hiring. So hire purchase system is also called as it is an agreement of hiring. Whereas coming to the installment system, it is an agreement of sale. So here the goods will be sold, but payment be made in the form of installment. So this is the first difference. It is an agreement of hiring, whereas this installment system, it is an agreement of sale. Next, it is governed by Hire Purchase Act 1972. So hire purchase system, it is governed by the act, that is Hire Purchase Act 1972. Whereas coming to installment system, it is not governed by any of the act. So here this installment system is not governed by any of the act. So this is the second difference. Now coming to the third difference, the parties to the contract or agreement are called as hire vendor and hire purchaser. So this I have told you, under hire purchase system there are two parties, hire vendor or hire seller as well as hire purchaser. So there is a contract between this hire seller as well as hire purchaser. Whereas coming to installment system, here parties are called as buyer and seller. So here this is not hire system. So it is called as buyer and seller. So there are two parties, buyer and the seller. Now coming to the next difference, ownership of the goods is transferred only after the payment of last installment. So this you know. So we have studied in your previous unit, right? So here under hire purchase system, ownership will be transferred from hire seller to hire buyer after the payment of last installment. Only if the hire purchaser pays the last installment, then only the ownership transfers. Whereas coming to installment system, ownership is transferred immediately. So it will be transferred immediately on the signing of agreement. So on the signing of agreement itself, ownership transfers, even though if the payment is not made in full, but the ownership transfers. And the next difference is that in case of default, the hire vendor can take the possession. So what do you mean by this? So if the hire purchaser has not made any of the installment, in such cases, hired seller can take back the asset or goods. In the sense, here the hire vendor or hire seller has a right to take back the goods. But when compared to installment system, the seller cannot take back the possession of the goods, but he can sue for payment. So here, he cannot take back the goods under installment system. If the installment is not paid, then here the seller does not have any right to take back the goods, but he can sue in the court on hire purchaser, not hire purchaser, on purchaser. And the next one is the relation is that of bailor and bailee. Now, what do you mean by bailor and bailee? Because the ownership have not transferred completely, right? So here it acts as a bailor and bailee. But when compared to installment system, so there is no such relationship. There is no such relationship of bailor and bailee. Whereas in hire purchase system, the relationship is that of bailor and bailee. And the next difference is that the hire purchaser can terminate the contract, but he cannot claim the amount paid. So here the hire purchaser can terminate the contract. So as I told, there should be an agreement between the hire seller as well as hire purchaser. So here the hire purchaser can terminate the contract but cannot claim the amount paid. For example, here the hire purchaser had paid some amount. For example, the hire purchaser had to pay 10,000. Okay, but he has paid 1,000 as down payment. Remaining now 9,000 he has to be paid in the form of installment. Right? Suppose he has paid rupees 7,000, but he has not paid rupees 2,000. That is, amount of 9,000 he has to be paid. So the total amount is 10,000. And he has paid 1,000 as down payment. Now 9,000 has to be paid in the form of installment, out of which he has paid rupees 7,000. So he has paid rupees 7,000. Then this 7,000 will not be refunded. So here this 7,000 cannot be given back. So if he fails to pay rest 2,000, then what the hire seller will do? Hire seller will take back the goods. But 7,000 is already paid by the hire purchaser to hire seller. So this 7,000 will not get back to the hire purchaser along with the amount paid. So here the hire purchaser will not get the amount paid. At the same time, he will not get the goods also if he fails to pay any of the installment. So this point tells that only, that is, the hire purchaser can terminate the contract, but he cannot claim the amount paid. So whatever the amount paid will not be refunded by the hire seller. So here the goods also will be taken by the hire seller. At the same time, whatever the amount paid by the hire purchaser will also be benefit for the hire seller. Whereas coming to the installment system, the buyer cannot terminate the contract. So here in installment system, the buyer cannot terminate the contract and escape from the liability of making payment in installment. So here in installment system, the buyer has to make the payment. Whereas in hire purchase system, if he doesn't make any of the installment, whatever the amount which is being paid, it is a benefit for the hire seller. But whereas in installment, he cannot terminate the contract. At the same time, whatever the amount to be paid, he has to be paid. That is, the buyer has to pay the seller. So these are the certain difference between hire purchase system as well as installment system. Now let us see what is the journal entries in the books of purchaser, that is installment purchaser. So here there are two parties under installment system, installment purchaser as well as installment seller. So in hire purchase system, you used to prepare journal entries in the books of hire purchaser as well as hire seller, right? In the same way, ledger accounts in the books of hire purchaser and hire seller. Here also in installment system, you have to prepare journal entries in the books of installment purchaser, installment seller, and ledger accounts in the books of installment purchaser as well as installment seller. Now let us see what are the journal entries that has to be recorded. So you know the format: date, particulars, ledger, folio, debit and credit. Now your first entry is for, so we are going to prepare journal entries in the books of hire or installment purchaser, right? So we are going to prepare entries in the books of installment purchaser. So your first entry is for, as usual, for receiving the asset, that is purchasing of asset. So what is the entry? Asset account data, interest suspense account. So this is a new account that has to be prepared here. So asset account data, interest suspense account data to installment seller account. Whereas in hire purchase system, what was the entry? Asset account data to hire seller account. Whereas here, asset account data, interest suspense account data to installment seller account. Now what you are going to record under interest suspense account? So under interest suspense account, so you know during the payment of amount in the form of installment, so along with principal amount, here the hire buyer or the installment buyer has to pay interest also. So that total interest, for example, if the installment is paid in 4 or the amount which is paid in 4 installment, so all these 4 years interest, so all these 4 years interest has to be added and it has to be written in interest suspense account. So first entry is for purchasing of asset by the installment purchaser. So what is the entry? Asset account data, interest suspense account data to installment seller account. So in asset account, you will record the amount of asset, that is cash price of the asset. Next, interest suspense account. So what you will write? If it is in the 4 installment, you will add all the 4 years interest and you will write in the interest suspense account. For example, it is 3 years installment, then you will add all 3 years interest and you will record the amount. And why you are crediting installment seller account? Because here the installment buyer is purchasing the asset from installment seller, correct? So this is your first entry for purchasing of asset. And the next entry is for what? Down payment. So as usual, like your hire purchase system, here also after purchasing the asset, the second entry is for down payment. So what is the entry? Installment seller account data to bank account. So why you are debiting installment seller? Because here the installment purchaser is paying amount to installment seller, right? So installment seller account data to bank account. So why you are debiting bank account? Because cash or bank goes out from the hire or installment purchaser. So you are crediting bank account. So entry is installment seller account data to bank account being the down payment made. That is, the down payment is nothing but on the date of agreement. So the amount paid is known as what? Down payment. That is a part of percentage of cash price. That is known as what? Down payment. And the third entry is as usual for interest due. So what is entry? Interest account data to interest suspense account. So here we are going to record in interest suspense account. Now, whereas in hire purchase system, what was the entry? Interest account data to hire seller account, right? Whereas in installment system, so what you are going to write? Interest account data to interest suspense account. So this is for first year interest due. So being the first year interest due. So hope you are clear with these three entries. Next, fourth entry as usual for installment paid. So what is entry? Installment seller account data to bank account. For whom we are paying or for whom the installment purchaser is paying? For the installment seller, right? So installment seller account data to bank account being the first year installment paid. So your first entry is for in the books of installment purchaser, that is for purchasing of asset. So what is entry? Asset account data, interest suspense account data to installment seller account. And second entry is for what? That is down payment, installment seller account data to bank account. Third entry is for interest due, interest account data to interest suspense account. Fourth entry is for installment paid. So what is entry? Installment seller account data to bank account. Fifth entry is for depreciation, since the asset is there in the hands of purchaser, right? So here the seller have sold asset to purchaser. Now the asset is there in the hands of purchaser. For that we have to calculate depreciation. So depreciation remains same, that of hire purchase system, that is depreciation account data to asset account being depreciation charge. So this is for first year depreciation. Next, transfer interest and depreciation to profit and loss account. So as usual, we are going to transfer interest as well as depreciation to profit and loss account. Your entry will be profit and loss account data to interest account to depreciation account, being interest and depreciation transfer to profit and loss account. Till here, we are going to record the entries for first year. Now come to the second year. In second year, we don't have first two entries, that is for asset received, that is asset purchased as well as down payment made. We start with third entry, that is interest due, interest account data to interest suspense account being the second year interest due. Next is for installment paid. So installment seller account data to bank account being second year installment paid. Next is for depreciation, charging depreciation. Depreciation account data to asset account being depreciation charged. Next, fourth entry is for what? Transfer of interest and depreciation to profit and loss account. Your entry remains same. Profit and loss account data to interest account to depreciation account being interest and depreciation transfer to profit and loss account. So till year we are going to record the second year entry. Now coming to the third year, here also we are having only 4 entries. That is for interest due, installment paid, charging depreciation as well as transfer of interest and depreciation to profit and loss account. So what is the third year interest? What is the entry? Interest remains same. Interest account data to interest suspense account being the third year interest due. Next is for installment paid. Installment seller account data to bank account being third year installment paid. Next, depreciation. Depreciation account data to asset account being depreciation charge. Next, the last entry is for transfer interest and depreciation to profit and loss account. So, entry will be profit and loss account data to interest account to depreciation account. So, till here we are going to record entries for third year. So, this is how, so same as hire purchase system, only thing is that here you have to add installment purchaser as well as installment seller. At the same time, you are going to have a new account, that is interest suspense account. Other than that, all the entries remains same. So this is journal entries in the books of installment purchaser. So in my next session, I am going to solve a problem on installment purchase system where we are going to record entries, that is journal entries in the books of installment purchaser. So we shall take a problem and we shall see how we are going to record journal entries in the books of installment purchaser. My dear students, hope you all understood the session. See you all in my next session. Till then, take care. Thank you.